Now, I'm not technical, so this is going to be more of a what to do as opposed to how to do it, but I just want to run through some of the essential elements of your SEO plan from a technical perspective. So the first is speed. Speed is absolutely everything. It's been important for a long time from an SEO point of view, but it's something that Google has repeatedly spoken about, particularly in the last few years since mobile usage has just grown and grown and grown. So if people can't access that web page quickly, then Google is just never going to prioritize it in the listings. So that's the first thing. The second is having SSL certification. So Google said, it was probably about a couple of years ago now, they came out and said that if a website didn't have SSL certification, then they wouldn't know if they could trust it, and therefore rankings might suffer. But I would add to that actually very often it will just completely block people from even visiting the website in the first place. So it's a disaster from a user experience point of view, it's a disaster from a brand point of view, and of course from an SEO point of view. The third thing is structured data. So you may have heard something called schema. So schema is a form of structured data that enables Google to look at something and understand that this is a review, this is an event, this is a recipe, this is a cinema time, etc., etc. Now, by doing this, it means that Google is therefore able to give you the credit you deserve for that beautifully designed and really kind of rich landing page that you've developed. Whereas if you create all this great content but you don't have the appropriate structured data in place, then Google won't necessarily understand what's what. But more than that, it's also a great opportunity to increase your click-through rate from the search engine results page, because a lot of that structured data can actually get pulled through directly to the SERPs. So you might see it, you'll see it with cinema listing times, you'll see it with event information, you'll see it often with review snippets being pulled through. So it really can aid your click-through rate as well. The final thing to mention is just from a general technical maintenance perspective. So I think very often we can be guilty, sort of as an SEO community, we can be guilty of approaching technical SEO as something of a set and forget scenario. But that's absolutely the wrong way to think of it. There needs to be an ongoing company policy for how you're going to monitor this on an ongoing basis. So for some businesses that might need to be daily, for others weekly, some monthly or quarterly. But there needs to be some kind of policy in place that says that every period of time you will use whatever diagnostic tools you have at your disposal. That might just be Search Console, it might be some other tools that you have as well, but you will use them to ensure that certain standards are being maintained. And of course that's going to include speed, as we talked about before, but it might also be things like broken links, or maybe just seeing even if Google have been sending you messages saying we've noticed some sketchy activity going on, please stop it. So really, really important that you have some kind of process in place to ensure that those standards are maintained week after week.